What if I told you the ancient secret to wealth isn't about making more? It's about a forgotten math trick that changes everything. Let me guess. You look at your debt, maybe student loans, maybe credit cards, and you feel a knot in your stomach. You've been told debt is a monster, a failure, but I'm here to tell you that's a myth, one that's kept smart people poor for centuries. Let's go back to 14th century Florence. The Medici family, the richest in Europe, borrowed money constantly, but they didn't borrow to buy silks or palaces. They borrowed at 5% interest to fund trade expeditions that returned 40%. That's the secret. Debt is just a tool. The problem isn't the tool, it's that you've been taught to fear it. And fear makes you bad at math. Francesco Dattini, a 14th century merchant, kept meticulous ledgers. He called debt my lever. In 1392, with a small loan of 200 florins, about $30,000 today, he bought wool, had it woven in Bruges, and sold it for 800 florins. The loan cost him 10 florins. That's a 295% net profit. Debt didn't chain him, it launched him. So why have we been told the opposite? Because banks profit from your fear. When you're terrified of debt, you pay it off first. That means you never invest. And if you're not investing, you're saving at 0.1% while inflation eats your money. Meanwhile, banks borrow at 0% from the Fed and lend at 15%. They're using the math you're afraid of. In 2008, Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, said publicly that his bank made $8 billion in profits from credit card debt alone. Not from lending, from the interest on people who were terrified of their debt and made minimum payments. The system is designed to keep you scared, because scared people pay more. Here's the deepest truth. In 1781, Benjamin Franklin wrote a letter to a young tradesman. Remember that money is of a prolific, generating nature. Money can beget money. He was talking about compound interest, but it applies to debt too. A 5% loan to buy an asset that returns 10% isn't debt. It's arbitrage. It's using someone else's money to build your future. The rich have always known this. In 1815, Nathan Rothschild learned of Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo a day before the British government. He used borrowed money to buy British bonds, knowing they'd skyrocket. When the news broke, Rothschild netted $135 million in today's money, on a loan that cost him 6% interest. He didn't fear debt. He respected it. Think of your own life. The mortgage on your home? If it's at 3% and the stock market returns 10%, you're losing money by paying it off early. Same with student loans at 4%. The math says invest instead. But your emotions say debt is bad. That emotional wiring was installed by people who profit from your compliance. Break the wiring. Meet Claire, a teacher in Ohio. She had $30,000 in student loans at 4.5%. She paid $600 a month for 7 years and felt virtuous. But if she'd invested that $600 in an S&P 500 index fund, she'd have $64,000 today. She chose to feel good instead of being rich. That's the cost of the myth. Debt isn't a moral failing. It's a transaction. Stop treating it like a monster and start treating it like a math problem. The rich don't avoid debt, they optimize it. You can too. The moment you stop feeling shame and start doing math, everything changes. If this clicked, follow for more untold truths that your school never taught you. Next time, I'll reveal the forgotten secret of how medieval monks used compound interest to build the first banks, and why they kept it hidden for 500 years. Follow for history they didn't teach you in school.